This is my 1960 Bond minicar. It's out the factory. It used to be a saloon out the factory, and then someone turned it into the rare Ranger design. But my Ranger roof is in my house at the moment, so I'm doing a few repairs on it. But I've had it since 2020. I bought it in 2020. The original colour on this was light green out the factory. And then I changed it to dark racing green because a lot of the Mark Fs and the Mark Es were dark racing green and light green, and some were red as well. But I've done a lot to it to make it look like this, you know, and I'm actually part of the Bond Owners Club on Facebook and on the web, but I'm the youngest member who's got the the Bond minicar, one of the youngest members. Well, I think I'm the only youngest member who's got one in the UK. But I found the original trim for this car. This trim was very hard to find. We managed to look on the internet. Well, me and my father we were both looking together, but we found the original trim for this car. I mean, the original trim was obviously 30mm. This is 12, but you can't tell because it's exactly the same. It's pretty much the same. But yes, but yeah, I mean, it's fantastic now, you know, and things. But I've done a lot to the engine, and I'll show you what I've done to the engine. I mean, it's still there. The engine's all original and everything. We got the original interior for a Mark F, which is these seats. The seats before were off a G, and they didn't obviously look as nice or anything. But the bodywork's all original. I had to get a new badge for it. The original badge was, you know, very worn out and broke off a long time ago. This is the engine, 250cc Villiers, 2-stroke. I had to do a lot to the engine to make it run really well. There was a man who I know on the internet, and he's obviously a very private bloke, but he gave me a new rare dyno start for this because my old dyno start never worked properly, and it just never used to drive properly, and he gave me this new rare part, and it makes it drive really well now. I do have a new Bond exhaust. My original one was really worn out and it didn't work properly. And what was really strange was when I bought this, it had no gasket under the cylinder head, which was really, really weird. And I said to the bloke, like, how do you not know there was no gasket under the cylinder head? They should all have gaskets. And he just never replied to me. It's just a bit of a twat, really. But I got a new gasket, put it in, had 0 leaks now. And out the decompression, this had a bit of a leak. We fixed that. There's no leak now. I mean, the Bond minicars, they leak anyway, but I've still got a few little leaks. But in the carburettor, put a new float in the carb because the original one was really worn out and stuff. So there's a new float in there because the new Villiers floats, they're plastic now and not metal anymore, or brass metal or whatever. But still got the original kickstart. That still works. The lights work, my front lights work, got those to go. Had a little bit of help from my dad and stuff, but, you know, I didn't do all of it myself. But, you know, I've saved up years for a Bond minicar, you know, a long time. Obviously, the battery frame, that isn't original. That was obviously put on a long time ago by someone. But that's the original battery holder, which is amazing. It's still got it. You know, I had to do a lot to the wires and everything. I do have a reverse control box on here, but it doesn't work at the moment, and it's too much of a risk to connect it with the dyno start, because you should obviously be very careful and stuff when you're connecting things, because it could just mess up the rest of the engine and then not work. But there's no point putting the reverse on because it's so easy to push behind and everything. And obviously pulling it back is just the lightest thing in the world. But yeah, it's amazing. I absolutely love it, and I do classic car shows of it, and also I'm going to be doing the Cheshire rally at some point to meet up with all the other Bond minicar people up in Cheshire, because they do a rally up there every 3 years, I think. So that'll be nice to meet up with all the other people. But yeah, it's driving beautifully at the moment, and you know, there's always something what does sort of go wrong sometimes, but I do have spare spark plugs for it as well. I had to get a new chain for it. This chain was, you know, it's nice and tight now, because before it was just really loose and never used to work properly and stuff. So, but yeah, it's really, really good. Obviously, it's very good for the sprocket and everything. It keeps it, you know, nice and strong and everything. I do sort of lubricate it with grease and stuff just to keep the chain nice and lubricated. I'm thinking about having the bumpers re-chromed, but this is this is obviously, you know, not too bad. The bumper's not too bad on this, you know, but the back one has just been painted silver. But I'm wondering about getting maybe just the back one done, because I know a guy who's got a few Bonds, and he said he was very nice, and he said to me he was going to take mine away and get them done for me, and I'd pay him, but I don't know if I can be bothered or not. But yes, it's very beautiful. Hopefully I'll do some more rallies at some point. But yeah, I love driving it. I love cruising about on it and stuff. And also these windows, my original ones, were never on the car. I mean, they were, you know, they obviously were on the car a long time ago. But I sent off for original copy side screen windows. These are extremely rare. And the man who I got the parts from, he told me the bloke was only making 4 sets of these windows. And I was the first one to get these. And they weren't very expensive, but it was worth it. So it completes the car. But they were made exactly the same as the originals were, which is amazing. There was a man who was that skilled to make literally the same as the originals, which is quite incredible, to be honest. But yeah, I have no idea if my floor's original or not, but I mean, it's been in there since all the older owners had it, but I'm pretty sure it probably is original, I don't know. But the interior me and my father actually did, because obviously I'm not skilled enough to do that, but the side screens and, sort of not side screens, the footwell, that originally it had that same fabric, and so do these door sides they had the same as well, as what it looked like back in the 1960s. But yeah, I've got a bit of a scratch on the back now, but it's because the Ranger roof sits on top, because I've got the Ranger roof that sits and covers the whole thing, but I've taken the roof off it because it just looks so much nicer when it's convertible, when it's in the summer. But yes, you have any questions, it'd be nice to tell me about some of your Bond mini cars if you've got any. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you soon.